On the banks of the Mississippi River, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a storied venue, and soon the fog will rise off the Big Muddy, and will it also bring a victory for the beloved Bayou Bengals, Tiger Stadium, home of LSU. There's nothing quite like a great rivalry matchup in college football. The bitterness, the intensity, the lifetime of memories that will come as a result of what we're about to see in this one. As we see the number 7 team in the country, the Alabama Crimson Tide, taking on the 6th-ranked team in the land, the LSU Tigers. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. Alabama about to kick off to get this game underway. The kickoff bounces through the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 25. Looking for a productive play on first down. Leaves it with the back. Finds that crease, and he's got 4 out to the 29.
You know what I really like about games like this at this point in the season? You find out who you are. You find out whether you're going to stay in the race.
And who can step up and handle the challenge, right? This is easily one of the toughest games to date for both of these programs coming into this one. So there's a lot of eyeballs, David, on this game to find out who's mentally and emotionally the toughest.
Yeah, and we're going to point to this game as we get later in the year and big decisions are made. You've got a top 25 win. You beat them in the middle of the season, X, Y, and Z, so these are big for the resume.
And to keep this opening drive going, they'll need to convert 3rd and 1. Reads it, fires complete. He's run out of bounds, but not before turning in a big pickup and moving the sticks for a first down. And on that 3rd and short, I don't think he was unhappy to see that zone.
Nope, it was a great job by the offense. Hey, you see where the holes in the zone are? Sit down. You only need a little bit of yards on this 3rd down. Get the conversion, move the sticks.
They say all games count the same, but you get to this portion of the season and a chance to win a top 10 battle like this carries a little extra weight.
And whoever keeps the top 10 number beside their name after this game will have earned it, because these two teams are very talented, David. We're now at the midpoint of the season. We're starting to get an idea of who these teams are. We're going to find out a whole lot more here today, though.
Yeah, dang right. How much implications down the road does this have? But how about you get an idea of exactly where you stand right in the middle of the season, playoffs down the road, make your statement here today.
This series dates back to 1895. One of the odd things, guys, is historically the visiting teams have had a lot of success.
And these fans don't like each other. Man, you can feel the hate, the hostility. Both programs so talented, recruited at a high level. These teams have even rematched for a national championship before, Palmer. These two teams are ballers.
And this is a game, too, David, that everybody circles on the calendar at the start of the season. We all know that conference...
And it's loose! And just like they drew it up, right? Put it on the ground, get the first down.
You know, quarterbacks practice ball security as well throughout the week, and he has to do a better job of keeping 2 hands on the ball. He knows this defense is trying to rip it out. They're trying to get a hat on the football. He's lucky that he was able to recover his own fumble there.
They stop him just short of the first down, but it will be 2nd and inches coming up. And the Tigers in the hurry up. They'll try the run. And he'll be taken down, but he does have enough for the first down.
This defense really is on their heels. They've been on the field now for a long time on this drive, and they're just getting pushed around at the point of attack up front like we saw in that last play.
On the option. Now the toss. And that might have been a bad read as the defense just swarms all over the pitch man.
You know when you're playing against a defense of this caliber, you're going to have some sort of balance, right? You can't just drop back and throw it every single play. Nothing going on that last run. They're going to have to find another way to get it going and handing the ball.
And There's so much for a quarterback to think about. Stick it out in the belly. Do I pull it? Now when I pull it, oh, I got to get my feet set, make an accurate throw to the right guy. So a lot of things going on, and I think that you saw that led to a little bit of inaccuracy.
Fast motion from the offense. Quarterback quick pass to the receiver. Push down for the tackle.
And these little touch passes, man, they're just the easiest completions ever for quarterbacks. Palmer, I bet you would have loved being able to just flip it forward. That counts as to your completion percentage, which is good. And then it's all run after the catch. So pretty easy for a QB.
You wouldn't have been the only All-American in this group, Dan, if I were allowed to have push passes when I was playing quarterback. I'll tell you that. It is so hard to defend. It's so hard to seal that edge, especially when this guy's full speed ahead coming around the outside.
No return coming. He'll call for the fair catch. This crowd bringing the energy and noise early. The give to the back. At the 35, he's got room. Good call, good execution as they move the chains and they have a first down at the 38. You can go way back in the history books to the wishbone attack all the way back to the first Rose Bowl team. Alabama builds its identity on a strong running game.
Builds it on dudes that tote the rock and do it with nastiness, with some physicality. Not one guy's going to bring them down, and you see it year after year with these guys, and there's always somebody that's going to be a physical challenge to try to get on the ground.
That has got to be demoralizing if you're on defense because they just ran the ball right up the middle, down your throats, and they gashed you.
Here comes the offense on 1st and 10 from the 47. Quarterback flips it ahead quickly to the receiver. And he has a solid gain before the defense bottles him up. And a lot of thrillers in the history of this series, but last year wasn't one as the tide rolled easily.
It was a beatdown, and it was replayed over and over on the TVs all throughout the facility. LSU, Jesse, had a year to think on that.
They sure did, and that Crimson Tide blowout was big on the recruiting trail, too. These are two programs that are consistently competing for the same five-star athletes across the board. That's a big reason why this game means so much.
Find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on 3rd down. Back to pass, it's Simpson. Gonna let it fly. And it's intercepted. A turnover for the defense. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick.
QB's got to pick and choose their spots when they want to be really aggressive and try to fit balls in tight windows. Great job by the DB making a big play, getting the ball back to its offense.
From the gun, the ground game. Still on his feet at the 45. And he's running in the open. And finally out of bounds after an explosive run by this ball carrier. The Tigers have it in scoring position on 1st and goal. Defense trying to keep this offense from getting a line on who to block. They'll dial up the run on 1st and goal. Pushes ahead for 2 to the 7-yard line. Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. It's complete. They will score. Touchdown, Tigers.
Really nice job working the route and getting himself open. He was able to locate the football, snag it out of the air, and this guy now has 5 receiving touchdowns on the year.
And they did tack on that extra point without any adventure. About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. Fielded in the end zone, it's Adams. He's brought down at the 16. Would have been much better off to take the touchback. Here comes that Alabama offense. Boy, they hope this next drive is more productive after throwing a pick last time, Jesse.
Yeah, and the coaches did a good job on the sideline there, just talking to the young quarterback and making sure he's able to turn the page, calm him down, to go out and refocus this drive.
Yeah, and some people do that better than others, but you got to show some trust in him. Maybe get the ground game going, help around him a little bit with this system.
Not what they had in mind to start this drive. Here comes 2nd and 13. Dropping back, it's Simpson. Pressure coming. A little screen to the running back. They finally get him stopped, but what a good job by that front wall to set up the screen and create some lanes for their running back.
It's a really nice looking throw. This dude is a weapon in this offense at the quarterback position. It's so funny, I think back to guys like Greg McElroy and A.J. McCarron, guys that may or may not have unfairly been tabbed as game managers, and then you think of Jalen Hurts, Tua, and Bryce Young in recent years, and just how dynamic and versatile these guys were at the position and how they've really helped take this offense to the next level. Watching this guy reminds me a little bit of that.
And he's able to shed one tackle and gets a pretty good pickup.
That's the end of the first quarter. With the score, LSU 10, Alabama 0.
Second down here as they go back to work after the break. Leaves it with the running back. Oh, what a move. And he'll have enough for the first down at the 42. No huddle here for the offense. Quick timeout by the defense there, trying to make sure everyone has the same call. Alabama rolling quickly downfield, set up with another first down. Used the play fake, now to throw. Well, the quarterback can make a big play when he starts moving around. And the ball's out, and they're after it. And he falls on top of his own fumble, and the offense will retain possession. And it looks as if they've buzzed down. Replay wants to have another peek at that last play. And you know the standard is indisputable video evidence, and the officials will change the call. Second down after the offense recovered its own fumble. Looking for a man, it's Simpson. Going up top. And he's got it inside the 15-yard line. And he got away from the defense and takes it in. Touchdown, Bama!
Big-time players make big plays in big games, man. And it seems like each and every week when this guy has an opportunity in the end zone, he's coming up with the big one. That time, great job focusing and concentration. Defense not able to cover him. That's his now 10th receiving touchdown on the year.
They'll try to tack one more on their score. And the PAT will draw them 1 point closer. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And the score comes courtesy of an explosive play in the passing game from 60 yards out. Lining up to cover the kick after that touchdown drive. And he takes this from inside the 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. That last drive really productive. David wound up with a touchdown. They'll try to do it again.
Yeah, so I don't expect this offense to change too much, Reese. They had a great drive. They got the touchdown, everything working. I would expect them to keep pushing this ball downhill.
And just imagine if they could put another touchdown on the board right here. They could capture so much momentum in this game with back-to-back TDs.
Good spot after that 7-yard pickup on first down. It's 2nd and 3. He's looking to throw. Fires into traffic, picked off. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception. And the senior just took that one out of the air and sends it the other way.
Tell you what, defensive players don't always see where the ball is. They see the receiver and they get to chase him, but really good job seeing where the receiver is, going and making an interception, making a big play, getting the ball back to your offense.
The Tide offense rolls onto the field. Boy, David, they would love to stack another touchdown on top of that last drive.
And this offense did such a good job on the last drive. Everything in rhythm, moved the ball down the field, didn't make those mistakes, Jesse, and they need to do it again on this one.
Yeah, you're right. They had the defense on their heels. You wonder what sort of communication was going on that sideline. What sort of changes were they able to make, because they got to stop the bleeding right now.
And now on 2nd down for this offense. Back to throw, it's Simpson. Quarterback adapting. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down. They've really performed at an elite level in conference play, and that'll build your confidence as we continue through this SEC season.
This was a team that was really motivated in the offseason coming into this one, and they knew the challenge ahead of them, but they also know how talented they are. And, David, they're putting that on display each and every week here in SEC play.
And let's pump the brakes, because if they're happy with what they've done so far, they're going to have some losses. Like, this is a tough league. The SEC is not easy to navigate. They're going to have to continue to grow and get better, but it's a heck of a start.
On 4th down, looking to pass. They make the stop, but what a job on the scramble to get loose and pick up that 1st down.
Sometimes these guys just have eyes in the back of their head. You saw it right there. He was able to buy himself time, get outside the pocket, and at that point, I think the decision was pretty easy. Hey, I can go get this with my feet. He was able to do that. Now they got a fresh set of downs.
Alabama with a 1st and 10 here. Pre-snap motion, quarterback trying to get a read. Headed to the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama! And they'll put that scoreboard operator to work and put 6 on the board.
With the grab and the score.
He'll try to tack on one more. And the extra point is good, and it's a 4-point lead. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And they top it off with a 14-yard pass for the touchdown. He'll bring it out. It's Simmons. He's brought down at the 16. Would have been much better off to take the touchback. LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. After that last pick, David, they really need to take care of the ball this time.
No doubt. And Palmer, I want to know what Spurrier said to you on the sideline after a pick.
Do that again, and you'll be right here beside me for the rest of the game. You got to go out. You got to call your plays. And I hope this coaching staff isn't going to be afraid to throw at this drive.
When you're a defense, it is stop the run first. That is your first responsibility. It makes the whole game easy. And right now, they got it going on the ground. The defense is going to have to change something up. These little tiny dink and dunk, dink and dunk. You keep doing this, they'll go all the way down the field on you, so you might want to get a little bit more aggressive.
Looking to throw, it's Collins. Getting some heat. They get enough rush, and it pays off. The sack at the 20. And it is hardly a big surprise that this Alabama defense is hitting hard and making their presence felt in the backfield.
Yeah, it's what they built their brand on. They built it on physicality and stopping the run, and you've seen over the last several years, too. After they do that, they come after your quarterback, and they try to get that sucker on the ground.
Throws to the wideout. Caught over the middle. It's Anderson. He'll have enough for the first down, and they stop him at the 45. And they just want to give this guy a chance to make a play on third down, and more times than not, he is going to deliver.
And he's so good, so efficient, such a good route runner, got the speed, got the complete game, so you definitely want to highlight him, and especially on those downs that matter the most. If something's not open quick underneath, find him, he'll make those contested catches.
Coaches always harp about staying ahead of the chains, and when you can run with that type of efficiency on first down, man, you are doing just that.
The clock has reached the 2-minute mark, and they have a chance to at least cut into this lead before the break. Second down coming up. From the gun, they'll try the middle. And they'll bring him down, but not before he picks up the first down.
And his offense is clicking, everything's moving, and the guy carrying the football, I mean, he is carrying the rock. Like, this is a guy that's setting this tone for this game, creating some balance on this offense. This offense is going to be a handful.
Yeah, David, I'd love to sit here and say, well, the offensive coordinator is just one step ahead of his counterpart across the field. That's not it. Right now, his offensive line is establishing the line of scrimmage, and you mentioned the bat. He right now is running with authority on this drive.
Quarterback will audible. To throw, it's Collins. Unloads to the wideout. Not in lockstep there with the receiver.
I think for the quarterback, he's going to have to be so good with his eyes in this game. You're going up against one of the best defenses in the country. You've got to look guys off, especially when you're trying to throw to your primary target like he was on that last one.
Seventh play of the drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. Looking downfield, and he needs a bunch. Catch in the middle. It's Sampson. They've got it just outside the red zone. They'll move the chains. It's at the 21.
Well, I think on that play you saw why this guy's such a big weapon in this offense. At receiver, he does such a nice job with his routes. He's patient, and he's consistent, and he's got good hands. You don't see him put a lot of balls on the ground. Nice job there picking up the first down.
Grabbed in the backfield. It's Johnson. He finally goes out of bounds, but you better check that laundry on the field. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. They've put this ball on lockdown. Eighth play of the drive coming up. Gives it to the back on the draw. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks.
I know it's sexy to throw the football, but if you can pound it away and get these kind of gains, they will just add up, wear the defense down, get first downs, and ultimately get some points.
Let's see what they've got on second down. Quarterback changing the plays at the line. Looking downfield, it's Collins. Fires to the wideout. And his throw is incomplete. Well, the timing on that throw and on the route was just convoluted and messed up from the beginning.
And you see quarterbacks and wide receivers in the offseason always working on timing and always working on throwing on air. But when you put a defense in front of them, now things start to speed up a little bit. A lot of times you'll see these little mistakes and where it looks like just they're not on the same page all the time.
Wide receiver now comes in motion. He'll try to pop the draw. And he's not going to get there. The defense stands tall and makes the stop. So now on comes the field goal unit. And he's already made one. The holder will put it down at the 26 for a 36-yard try. It is good. So they put the field goal on the board and about to kick it away and hoping that'll be the final points of this first half. Fair catch called for and made. Here comes that Alabama offense. They've got some time to work with here, Jesse, and if they get a first down, they might really get aggressive.
I'd be aggressive right out of the gate. I'd be throwing for a first down. If I get it, then it's pedal to the metal. I'm in that 2-minute mode to try to score a touchdown or get a field goal.
But I do think this is a situation where you also have to understand that I have the lead going into the half. I've got the momentum, so don't do anything stupid here.
No gain on the play. Second down coming up.
Bunch formation trying to spring a guy free. Looking to pass. It's Simpson. Takes a hit as he fires. That pass is incomplete, and they're probably fortunate that it wasn't knocked free for a fumble.
Wow. I don't love that throw by the QB, man. It's not a good idea to lob the football anywhere in the middle of the field because it gives defenders an opportunity to rally to the ball and knock it away.
Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on third down. Sends it downfield. What a snag by the defense. Trying to take it back. And they get the takeaway and prevent points from going up just before the end of the half.
This is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision.
Quarterback checking the play. Quick pass on the jet motion. And he'll make his way out of bounds after the solid pickup.
Well, and on these little push passes, timing is so important. You're trying to snap it right as he's getting a full head of steam. When he gets the ball, he's hitting the outside, and David, it puts the defense in such a difficult spot.
You immediately have to be rotating when you see that motion, so everybody's got to communicate and kind of bump over. That's why offenses love to run it. It makes the defense communicate and see if you can just get him out of a spot.
A timeout is called as this offense tries to find a way to get more points on the board before the half. They'd love nothing better than to add a 3-ball here before the break. Defense calls the timeout, trying to build up the nerves with this kicker.
Alabama.
Waning seconds of the first half, and they'll try to tack on a 3 before they head to the locker room. The official says no good. And after the miss, they're still down by a single. We've played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update. LSU will put foot to leather to start the second half. Not going to risk a return here. He'll make the fair catch. Tide offense rolls onto the field. They have the lead to start the third quarter, but I'd imagine ball security was a topic at halftime.
Yeah, and I think you take the lead and you try to stay optimistic with your team, but you also say, guys, if we had taken care of the football, this lead would be even bigger. We might have already knocked them out already, Palmer.
It's just about eliminating the mistakes at this point. You're right. This thing would be over if they hadn't shot themselves in the foot. So ball security, that is at a premium as this game goes on.
Solid pickup of 4 on first down. It's 2nd and 6. Out of the gun, the inside handoff to the running back. Knocked down at the 44, but he got 15 on that one.
This is going to be a big key for him, David, with the lead here in the second half, running the football, right? Staying on the field and bleeding the clock.
Yeah, run the football. You're ahead. You can be a little bit more conservative. But again, this opens up the pass. This keeps everything in balance for this offense.
Now they'll line it up from the 44 on 1st and 10. From the gun, the running back has it. And the defense finally makes the stop after the sweet run and good gain.
In halftime.
Points, but sometimes when you have to settle for nothing, David, it can be demoralizing.
Yeah, and it can definitely be frustrating. And I think it leads you to say maybe I go for it more. But, Jesse, I think this offense just needs to put another drive together and just finish stronger.
Yeah, and be a little bit less predictable, too, especially as they get closer and closer down the end zone.
Picked up some yardage with that completion, now 2nd down. They'll give it to Johnson. Brought down to the ground, but he has enough for the 1st down.
I tell you what, with this kind of success on the ground, I think you two knuckleheads could call plays. I mean, that's how easy it is for this offense right now. They got the ground game working. It's really easy. Now you can open up for other things, but you guys could even try your hand because they're dominating right now.
Might as well give it to him again. Really good job to pick up a chunk of yardage and get it out to the 39-yard line.
Well, right away after picking up the 1st down, they go right back to their playmaker at running back, and I love the push they got up front, getting a hat on a hat, opening a huge hole for the back.
And you become so hard to defend when you can run the football successfully on 1st down. You're starting like that. Now what opens up? Play action. Now you're making me play pass and run. This offense, if they can create that run physicality, now it opens up everything else.
And they're able to shove him to the turf as they stop him for a short gain.
That's a really good job by the defense, wrapping him up, getting him on the ground, take away that run game, make him one-dimensional, put him in passing situations. Really good job by the defense.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Wide out in motion. The give to the tailback. 1-step wrap, 2-step squeeze. This junior knows how to get him on the ground. They've got a good chunk of ground to cover on 3rd and long from the 41. Wide receiver shows motion. Now the quarterback changing the original play call. On 3rd and long, try to convert through the air. Working that left side. And this defense is a half a beat behind. They just can't quite keep up. They've got it down to the 21. LSU with the 1st and 10 here. It'll be a draw. They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Effective draw plays in the running game really begin with the quarterback. The quarterback's got to be a great salesman. You got to really make the defense think it's pass. You keep your eyes focused downfield until the last possible second, turn around and hand it off. And by that point, the defensive ends have rushed way upfield, and there's less bodies for the running backs to have to maneuver around before finally moving forward.
They'd love to pick up this 3rd down and get a fresh set with 1st and goal. They'll try to power their way ahead. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple.
Yeah, that's a really good job by the defense, because when you get in that 3rd and medium area, listen, you got to be worried about the run and the pass. Did a good job playing both, got it stopped, now forcing a 4th down.
Splits the uprights. It's good. And guys, after the field goal, now they have the lead. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Boys, if it's happening in college football, we've got eyes on it. Check this out. Tennessee looks like a bunch of world beaters right now, marching all over the field like Smokey in the pregame. They're up by 15 over Oklahoma. Just another week of college football where we've come to expect the unexpected. Fellas?
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. Here comes that Alabama offense. They hope to be able to cash in on this drive, David, after having to punt it last time.
Yeah, and I think this offense needs to start it with the first play. You need to be successful and productive on that first play, and it gets you in less predictable situations.
No doubt, too. And don't you just feel like there's a little bit more sense of urgency on this drive? It just feels like they've got to be able to put some points up on the board here.
As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter of play. With the score, LSU 16, Alabama 14.
Second down now as they're ready to go back to work. The give to the back. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
Yeah, and this offense has to find a way to run the football. They got to get more creative, but whatever that looks like for this offense, something to jumpstart them, because nothing really going on the ground.
Yeah, defensively, though, you got to give them credit, too, because they knew that physically they were going to try to be challenged up front. That was a big MO for this offense coming into it. But the defense, they've risen to the occasion. Their front 7 has dominated this entire game.
Big 3rd down as the crowd gets behind this defense. An unforced error there. They don't get the snap off in time. Offense took a little bit too much time at the line there. Probably the toughest call on the play sheet. 3rd and long. Ball's at the 25. Running to the left. And he'll move his way forward to the first down. They'll mark it at the 35. No huddle offense to the line. They're trying to seal the edge off right tackle. Brought down at the 46, but he got 10 on the play.
First down, you know you always want to establish the running game. How about this offense? Nothing fancy. Run the football, be physical, get a big gain.
This Alabama offense is clicking. They're set up with another first down. Here comes the option. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
They're trying to run the ball on first down, guys, but just nothing doing up front. Their offensive line got blown up on that play. There was nowhere for that guy. Aggressive offense, taking shots. Here we are in the fourth quarter. They've got the lead. Why stop now?
They really got things moving on this drive. Second play of the drive comes from the 37. Linebackers shuffling around, trying to keep the quarterback from getting a read. They want that clock to run. Hard running there. They make the stop, and this running game moves the chains as they get the first down.
Yeah, it's make or break time for this defense now. They got to get a stop, and if that's bringing more bodies in, bringing more beef in, they're running the football right up the gut, right at you. They're not going to throw the football in this situation. Time to be more physical and get this big stop.
Quarterback making adjustments with his receivers. Trying to find his man on first down. He hurls one deep down the left side. Here's an interception. Oh, did they need that turnover? Didn't get a chance to show off those running skills, but he gives him the ball at the 29-yard line.
Man, we needed that so bad. We needed the football. Had to get a stop, forcing a turnover. Best case scenario, offense back on the field, trailing in the fourth quarter. Time to go win it.
The Tide offense rolls onto the field. That last drive fizzled out, Jesse. They had to punt it.
Yeah, they did. And, David, they're just going to have to do a better job this time around erasing the mental mistakes.
And just trying to solve the defensive riddle, understanding what they're trying to do to you and attack them.
You know, it's so important for offenses to want to keep third downs manageable. The way you do that is by having success like that, running the football on first down.
After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line, 2nd and 7. Running back searching for a hole. Good job running tough and behind his pads as he gets up to the 38-yard line. The defense uses their second timeout of the half as they try to get their act together. They're facing a 3rd down. They'll try to get it through the air. They've got the screen set up. And they wrap him up, but not before he's got enough for the first down. Whatever the fastest tempo they have is, that's what they'll use. Dropping back, it's Simpson. Zings it complete to the right. And that will go backwards. A negative play, and that defense on high alert that time. On 2nd down, he'll let it fly. Setting up the screen. Not a whole lot of room there on that screen pass as it just never developed.
I don't love the play call at this juncture in the game. You're down. You've got to take shots. The defense is not going to be blitzing, so these screens probably aren't going to work.
These fans stepping up to help this defense on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Throws for the tight end. He just missed the target on that one. Got to put it on his body.
Well, I know it hasn't been a tremendous day statistically for this quarterback, but his decision-making has been good enough to win this game. Hasn't thrown a lot of TDs so far, but when things aren't open, he throws it away like on that play right there. He's not putting his team in a bad spot, and that's why they still have a shot to walk out of here with a W.
On 4th down, they'll try to throw it. He's going up top here late in the game. It's incomplete. A 4th down stop and the turnover on downs.
Nice job by this defense in a clutch moment. You knew they were going to throw the football. 4th down, great coverage, break on the football, force the incompletion, and more importantly, you get the ball back to your offense with a chance to just run this clock and get out of here to the win.
Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. You got to believe they just want to run it, take care of the football, and keep that clock moving on 2nd and 9. And he's able to bounce off one tackle, but still not a whole lot of running room. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. And the quarterback takes the snap and kneels down. There's a long and storied history of great games between these two rivals, and this chapter adds another to that legacy.
Really impressed by the poise by the winning team as well here. They weren't overhyped in this game. They came out, they looked prepared, they were calm, definitely confident. And David, they were able to go out and execute well enough to get this win.
And it's hard in these rivalry games with all the emotions running so deep. Like, you sometimes get overzealous. Sometimes you get too many penalties. It's hard to rein in your emotions, but they did. They kept it in check, and now bragging rights for a whole year.
So that's going to do it